Lauren, and I don't know about where you guys are at, but over here in Eastern Oregon, it is very chilly. Today I'm just going to teach you guys how to make one of my favorites. It's actually from Olive Garden. I don't know if you guys go there, and it's called the Zuppa. I like to start preparing my ingredients for this dish. I first start with doing my potatoes. I've already washed them. I've already cut out a few of the bad spots in the potatoes. And I'm going to start by cutting each potato in half. Once I do that, I start getting the half slices, and then I cut each slice into about an inch or two. Just because you want them at a decent size, because once you start to boil them, they do boil down a little bit, and you still want some of that chunkier soup in your Zuppa Tuscana. So normally in this recipe it calls for a whole onion. This is a bigger size onion, so I will only be using half today. Normally when you do grab your onion, you want to make sure you peel off the outer layer. When you start getting into your onion, you want to make sure you cut it horizontally and then vertically, just because you want to make sure once you do create your chunks, they're around the size of it. The next thing I'm going to start preparing is the garlic. This recipe calls for 3 tablespoons of garlic, and so we started out with a garlic bulb. With needing around 3 tablespoons, I just broke up the bulb into, there's probably around 15 cloves right here from this garlic bulb. I'm just going to keep using my garlic press and creating around 3 tablespoons of garlic. So when adding in the kale, I get mine from Rainbow Kale. It's from the organic marketplace. The kale is kind of more like a self-preference thing. I would say do around 2.5 to 3 cups. I'm going to do around 3 cups of mine. When getting this type of kale, it does sometimes tend to have some long stems to it. So I kind of just tear it up just like this. Like this is kind of a longer stem that takes a little bit longer to cook down, so I just take it out. Once my vegetables, my potatoes, everything like that is all prepared and measured out, I then begin to prep my bacon and my Italian sausage. When I do this recipe, I can do around 4 to 5 strips of bacon. Today I'm going to do 5. I'm a bacon lover. It's just kind of your own preference. Okay, so as I'm cooking my bacon, I begin to start the base of my soup. I start off with about 2 tablespoons of butter, just because we are going to be sauteing the onions and then adding the garlic in there. When sauteing the onions, you want to make sure you saute them until they're transparent. So this is just going to be me adding in the first few things. I have my 2 tablespoons of butter. This is around the 3 tablespoons of garlic that we had already chopped up and minced up already earlier in the video, and then here is the onion. Showed you. I'm a seasoned girl. I like my soups, my food to have a lot of flavor. So those are all your own preference of seasonings. Besides the red peppers, you do want to make sure you have 1 to 2 tablespoons in there. So once my bacon has been completely cooked, I then will start browning my sausage. This is about 1 pound of Italian sausage. You can get it in Jimmy Dean brand, or this is the Johnsonville brand. After that's all done, I will drain my grease, because you never want greasy soup. So my onions have been cooked to transparent. I just added in my potatoes. Now I'll be adding in the chicken broth. This is just from the Collagen brand. It can be any really chicken broth. I just use it for extra flavor. I'm just going to dump this in until it's completely covered the potatoes. You don't need the whole thing, just until it's pretty much covered the potatoes, just so they can get all cooked. So I have my sausage and my bacon all ready to go right here. After I put my potatoes in, you want to make sure you boil them for about 15 minutes, just to keep checking the consistency. You want to make sure that they're not too mushy. You want to still have some of those chunks in there, but you want to make sure they are soft. After I've added the meat, the bacon, and the sausage, I'm going to add a little bit of water. You just want to add a little bit of water, because at the very end you will be adding your cream and your kale. So I just just added the kale. You don't want to add the kale when it's too hot because you don't want it to wilt or anything, but you do want to make sure you get it in there when it's still warm. We will be needing 3 cups of the heavy whipping cream. We won't add it until the soup starts cooling down because you don't want to add it when it's hot because your whipping cream will curdle. Now that the soup is somewhat boiled down, I've added the cream, stirred it all together, and now you have an amazing dinner for around 8 to 10 people or for your family on a nice cold day. Thank you for watching.